Welcome back to our channel, World of Coins. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them because it could make you a millionaire overnight. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're going to explore a coin that's been turning heads in the numismatic community, the 1954 United States 1-cent coin. At first glance, this may look like just another penny, but trust me, it's far more than meets the eye. Let's start by setting the stage. The year 1954 might seem like a distant past, but it was actually a pivotal time in American history. The post-World War II era was underway, and the country was experiencing economic growth and cultural change. In the world of coins, 1954 marked the tail end of the wartime production years, when coinage was being minted under very different circumstances. But what makes this particular penny so special? Why does a seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin from this year have such a big appeal among collectors? Well, the answer lies in a combination of rarity and specific characteristics that make it a sought-after piece for collectors. You see, the 1954 1-cent coin was minted in high numbers, but there's one specific version of this coin that stands out, a rare, well-preserved variety that commands attention. Let's talk about the design of this coin. The obverse side features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image, with his somber expression, has been on the penny for over a century and continues to symbolize the country's enduring respect for its 16th president. On the reverse side, you'll find a depiction of two wheat stalks framing the words E pluribus unum and the denomination, 1 cent. This simple yet timeless design has earned the penny its nickname, the Wheat Penny. But what makes the 1954 penny from the United States stand out from the rest? It's all about the condition. A large number of these pennies were circulated in everyday transactions, meaning most of them have suffered from wear and tear over the years. However, a few of these coins were kept in excellent condition, never touched by the hustle of daily use. As a result, those rare, pristine specimens have become highly coveted by collectors, but that's not all. There are a few other factors that add to the coin's allure. One key detail is the potential for slight minting errors, which are known to increase a coin's value. These can range from minor misprints to more significant issues like double dies or off-center strikes. Coins with these flaws can be extremely rare, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. Now, let's talk numbers. A 1954 1-cent coin that is in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch a pretty penny. But if you happen to find a 1954 penny with a rare error or minting variation, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, the most valuable 1954 1-cent coin ever sold fetched an incredible sum at auction, an astounding $106,000, yes, you heard that right, $106,000 for a single penny. That's the kind of value a well-preserved 1954 1-cent coin can command in the right market. It's a staggering amount for something that many of us would normally pass by without a second thought. So, if you've got a collection of old coins or happen to find one of these 1954 pennies in your change, take a closer look. You never know, you could be holding a hidden treasure that could be worth a lot more than its face value. Top 2, we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection, or your pocket, without you even realizing its incredible worth. I'm talking about the 1950 United States 1-cent coin. At first glance, this might seem like just another penny, but hold on a second, because this small piece of currency has a story that could make it worth a whole lot more than you think. The 1951-cent coin was minted during a time when the country was recovering from the aftermath of World War II. The economy was in a post-war boom, and changes were happening all around the United States. The coin itself is part of the famous Wheat Penny series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958, and features an image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side. His portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, has become one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of American currency. But what's so special about the 1950 penny? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and a few key features that have made this coin one of the most sought-after pennies for collectors. Although millions of these pennies were produced, most were used in everyday transactions and are now worn and damaged from years of circulation. However, some of these coins, especially those that have been carefully preserved, can be worth far more than their face value. The most important factor in determining the value of a 1950 penny is its condition. Coins that have been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition are rare, and collectors pay top dollar for these pristine examples. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Some 1950 pennies are found with slight imperfections, but a truly flawless example can be worth a small fortune. This is why collectors are constantly on the lookout for 1950 pennies that have been stored in perfect condition or those that were never even used in the first place. Another aspect that adds to the value of the 1950 penny is the potential for minting errors. While the U.S. Mint works hard to create perfect coins, mistakes can happen. These errors could include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or even coins with missing elements. When a minting error occurs, the coin becomes one of a kind, which makes it highly valuable to collectors who are always on the hunt for these rare variations. Now, let's talk about the big question: how much could a 1950 penny actually be worth? If you've got an uncirculated 1950 penny in your collection, or you happen to stumble upon one, you could be sitting on a treasure. Some of these coins have sold for incredible prices at auctions, with the most valuable 1951 cent coin fetching an impressive $110,000. That's right, $110,000 for a single penny. This just goes to show that sometimes, the smallest coins can carry the most incredible value. If you've got a 1950 penny that's in exceptional condition or happens to have a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin worth far more than you ever imagined. So, take a look through your coin collection, check your change jar, or even go through those old coins that have been sitting around for years. You might just find that you've got a rare treasure on your hands. Top 3, we have a coin that's often overlooked but could be worth much more than its face value. I'm talking about the 1957 United States 1-cent coin, the wheat penny. At first glance, it may seem like just another old penny, but trust me, there's much more to this little coin than meets the eye. Let's take a closer look at why this particular penny could be worth a small fortune. First, let's rewind to 1957. It was a year of growth and change in America, with the country in the midst of the post-World War II boom. The economy was expanding, and new technologies were beginning to take root. In the world of coinage, 1957 was the final year that the iconic wheat reverse design was used on the 1-cent coin. That's right, after 1957, the famous wheat stalks on the back of the penny would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. This marks the end of an era, making the 1957 wheat penny particularly special to collectors. On the obverse of the 1957 penny, you'll find the timeless portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. His image, created by Victor David Brenner, has been part of American coinage since 1909 and remains one of the most enduring symbols of U.S. currency. On the reverse, you'll notice the 2 stalks of wheat, which were part of the coin's design from 1909 until 1958. These wheat stalks represent the country's agricultural heritage and are a significant part of the penny's charm. So, what makes the 1957 wheat penny so valuable? The answer lies in its condition and a few special features that make it stand out. While millions of these coins were produced, the vast majority saw years of circulation, resulting in wear and tear. However, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is extremely rare, and that's what collectors are after. Coins that have been carefully preserved, free from the damage of everyday use, are highly sought after and can command impressive prices. But there's more. Over the years, some of these 1957 pennies have been found with minting errors. Minting errors are a collector's dream, as they create one-of-a-kind pieces that are highly coveted. Errors can range from minor misprints to more dramatic issues like double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing details. These unique variations can increase the coin's value significantly, sometimes making it worth far more than a typical 1957 penny. Now, the question on everyone's mind: how much is a 1957 penny really worth? If you have one of these coins in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a serious payday. The most valuable 1957 penny ever sold fetched an incredible sum at auction, a jaw-dropping $97,000, yes, that's right, $97,000 for a single penny. It's amazing how a coin that was once worth just 1 cent can now carry such an enormous value. So, if you have any old 1957 pennies lying around, take a closer look. You might just be holding a rare and valuable piece of American history. Top 4, we're diving into a coin that's often overlooked, but could be worth more than you might think. The 1953 United States 1-cent coin, a part of the iconic Wheat Penny series, holds a special place in the world of numismatics, and it might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to surprise you. So, what makes this seemingly ordinary penny so extraordinary? Stick around, and let's uncover the hidden value of the 1953 penny. First, let's take a step back in time to 1953. The United States was in a period of post-war prosperity, with the economy in full swing and the country moving into a new era. But in the world of coinage, 1953 was significant for another reason. It marked a time when the wheat penny design was still in circulation. This design, which had been in place since 1909, features the image of Abraham Lincoln on the front, with the 2 wheat stalks on the reverse. The wheat penny, a symbol of the country's agricultural roots, was beloved by collectors for its simple, yet meaningful design. Now, you might be wondering, what makes the 1953 penny so valuable? Well, despite millions of these pennies being minted, the condition is everything. Coins from this era were heavily circulated and often showed signs of wear and damage. Most of the 1953 pennies you come across today are well worn from years of use. However, there's a very rare and highly prized version of the 1953 penny that's worth significantly more, one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition. Finding a coin like this is a collector's dream, as it's almost as if the coin has never seen the light of day since it was minted. But condition isn't the only thing that makes a 1953 penny stand out. Some of these coins were struck with minting errors that add even more value. These mistakes, like off-center strikes, double dies, or even missing details, create a coin that's truly one of a kind. Minting errors are highly sought after because they're rare and unique, making them a prized possession for collectors who are always looking for something special to add to their collection. If you happen to find a 1953 penny with one of these errors, you could be looking at a significant boost in value. So, what kind of value are we talking about when it comes to the 1953 penny? Well, if you have one in uncirculated condition, or even better, a 1953 penny with a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin worth a pretty penny. The most valuable 1953 1-cent coin ever sold reached an incredible sum of $99,000, yes, you heard that right, $99,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once worth just 1 cent can now be worth so much. So, if you have any 1953 pennies stashed away in your collection or come across one in your change, take a closer look. It might just be the hidden treasure you've been waiting for. Top 5, we have a real treat for you, the 1944 United States 1-cent coin. You might think it's just another penny, but this particular coin could be worth far more than you might expect. Stick around as we dive into the rich history and hidden value of the 1944 penny. Let's take a quick trip back to 1944. It was a time of intense global conflict, as World War II was raging across the world. At home in the United States, things were starting to shift as the country worked toward victory. The economy was geared toward the war effort, and every scrap of metal was precious. This is where the story of the 1944 penny takes an interesting turn. You see, in 1943, the U.S. Mint had to switch the composition of the penny from copper to steel due to wartime shortages of copper. However, by 1944, the Mint returned to using copper to strike the 1-cent coin. But here's the catch. Some of these 1944 pennies were accidentally struck with leftover steel planchets that were meant for the previous year's coinage. These rare, steel pennies, from 1944 are the ones that collectors are especially eager to get their hands on. If you find one of these rare pennies in your collection, you could be sitting on a valuable treasure. But how do you tell the difference between a regular copper 1944 penny and a steel one? Well, a steel penny will have a different color and weight compared to the traditional copper version. Copper pennies have that familiar reddish-brown hue, while steel pennies have a grayish tone. They also weigh a bit less due to the different metal composition. Now, beyond the occasional minting error, what makes the 1944 penny so valuable is its rarity and condition. Like many other pennies from this era, most of them were heavily circulated and showed signs of wear and tear. However, there are still a few pristine, uncirculated examples out there, and these are the ones that can really fetch big money. Coins that have been carefully preserved are incredibly rare, and their value can skyrocket when they are in excellent condition. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these well-preserved coins, especially when they come from a unique year like 1944. A perfectly preserved 1944 penny with no visible wear can be worth a small fortune. Add to that the possibility of a rare minting error, like a steel penny, and you're looking at a coin that could make you some serious money. So, how much could a 1944 penny be worth? If you happen to have a 1944 penny that's in outstanding condition, or one of those extremely rare steel pennies, you might be in for a surprise. The most valuable 1944 penny ever sold reached an astonishing sum of $123,000, yes, you heard that right, $123,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that a small, seemingly ordinary coin like this could be worth such a huge amount. So, if you have a 1944 penny tucked away in your collection, take a closer look. If it's in excellent shape, or even better, if it's one of the rare steel pennies, you could be holding a coin worth a fortune. Top 6, we're taking a closer look at a coin that might be hiding in your collection or even in your change jar, and it could be worth a small fortune. I'm talking about the 1949 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the wheat penny. This seemingly simple penny has quite a few secrets up its sleeve, and I'm about to share why it might just be the hidden gem you've been searching for. Let's set the scene. The year is 1949. The United States had just emerged from the chaos of World War II, and the economy was in the middle of a post-war boom. In the world of coinage, the 1949 penny was still part of the iconic wheat penny series, which had been circulating since 1909. It featured the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the reverse showing 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural roots. The wheat penny was beloved for its simplicity and its connection to the nation's heritage, and it had a long run before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. So, why is the 1949 penny so special? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and a few key factors that make this coin particularly desirable among collectors. While millions of 1949 pennies were minted, the vast majority of them were circulated in daily transactions, meaning they've seen their fair share of wear and tear. But here's the catch, some 1949 pennies were kept in exceptional condition, and finding one of these pristine specimens today is a real treasure. These well-preserved coins are the ones that command the most attention and can fetch incredible prices at auctions, but it's not just about condition. There's something else that sets the 1949 penny apart from the rest: minting errors. Sometimes, during the manufacturing process, things don't go quite as planned, and you end up with a coin that's slightly different from the rest. Minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, or even missing elements can make a coin incredibly rare. When a 1949 penny has a unique error, collectors will pay top dollar for it because it becomes a one-of-a-kind piece. If you're lucky enough to find a 1949 penny with a minting flaw, you could be holding something truly valuable. So, how much could a 1949 penny actually be worth? Well, if you have one that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or even better, if it has a rare minting error, you could be looking at a significant payout. The most valuable 1949 1-cent coin ever sold reached an astounding sum of $116,000, yes, you heard that right, $116,000 for a single penny. It's mind-blowing to think that a coin with a face value of just 1 cent could be worth so much, but that's the power of rarity, condition, and a little bit of luck when it comes to coin collecting. So, take a moment to check through your coin collection or your spare change. You might have a 1949 penny sitting there, waiting to make you a small fortune. Whether it's a pristine example or a rare minting error, this little penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 7. We're taking a close look at the 1945 United States 1-cent coin, commonly known as the wheat penny, and it just might surprise you how much this little penny is worth today. So grab your magnifying glass, because you may want to check that old jar of coins sitting on your shelf. Once we're done with this, let's take a quick trip back in time to 1945. The world was finishing up with the chaos of World War II, and the United States was starting to feel the excitement of a post-war boom. People were getting back to their everyday lives, and the economy was recovering. The U.S. Mint was still using the classic wheat penny design on the 1-cent coin, which had been in circulation since 1909. On the front, you'll see the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while on the reverse, 2 stalks of wheat stand tall, representing the country's agricultural heritage. But here's where it gets interesting. While millions of these 1945 pennies were minted, there are a few that stand out from the rest, especially if they've been well preserved. The majority of these pennies were heavily circulated, meaning they were used in daily transactions, got worn down, and lost their original luster. However, some of these coins were kept in excellent condition, which is incredibly rare today. The key to determining the true value of a 1945 penny is all about its condition. If you've got one that's virtually untouched, in what's called uncirculated condition, you're sitting on a potential treasure. It doesn't stop there. Minting errors are another reason why a 1945 penny could be worth much more than its face value. When a minting mistake happens, such as a doubled die or an off-center strike, the coin becomes unique and extremely valuable. These kinds of errors happen unexpectedly and make the coin a true collector's item. If you happen to find a 1945 penny with one of these minting errors, it could be worth a lot more than you imagined. In fact, collectors actively seek out error coins because they are so rare and stand out as one-of-a-kind pieces. So, let's talk numbers. How much is a 1945 penny actually worth? Well, it depends on the condition, but if you have one that's in mint condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a major payout. The most valuable 1945 1-cent coin ever sold went for an incredible $121,000. That's right, $121,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something so small, something that was once just a regular part of everyday life, could now be worth a small fortune. So, take a look through your coins, especially those old wheat pennies. You never know, one of them might just be worth much more than you think. Top 8. We're looking at a coin that you might have overlooked in the past, but it could actually be worth a lot more than you think. I'm talking about the 1979 United States 1-cent coin, which, believe it or not, could potentially make you a small fortune. Stick around to find out why this particular penny might just be hiding a big surprise. Let's rewind to 1979. It was a year of change and growth in the United States, as the country was experiencing a mix of both economic challenges and advancements. The world was in the midst of shifting politics, technological developments, and social changes. But in the world of coinage, 1979 was an interesting year for the humble 1-cent coin, which was still being produced with the classic Lincoln Memorial reversed design. The Lincoln Memorial has graced the reverse side of the penny since 1959, symbolizing the strength and legacy of the nation. On the obverse, you'll find the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has been part of the penny since 1909. While these pennies were produced in huge quantities, the 1979 version is unique due to a few factors that make it stand out in the world of coin collectors. You see, the majority of these pennies were circulated, meaning they've seen heavy use and wear over the years. The vast majority of 1979 pennies are worth just their face value of 1 cent. However, just like with many other coins, the real value lies in the condition and any potential minting errors. The key to a 1979 penny's value is its rarity, and that means finding one that's in excellent, uncirculated condition. A coin that has been preserved carefully and hasn't been subject to the wear and tear of circulation can command a much higher price than its face value. But wait, there's more. Some 1979 pennies were struck with minting errors, which is what really catches the eye of collectors. These errors could be anything from off-center strikes to double dies or even improper metal mixes. Minting mistakes like these make the coin unique, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for a penny that has a rare flaw, since it becomes a one-of-a-kind piece. If you happen to have a 1979 penny with one of these errors, it could be worth much more than you'd expect. Now, you're probably wondering just how much a 1979 penny could be worth. Well, if you've got one in uncirculated condition or a rare error coin, you could be looking at a significant windfall. The highest price ever paid for a 1979 1-cent coin reached an astounding $94,000, yes, that's right, $94,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a penny from 1979 could be worth such a hefty amount, but that's the magic of rare coins and minting errors. So, take a moment to go through your coin collection, or maybe even check through your change jar, because that humble penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 9, we're going to explore a penny from 1980 that could potentially make you a lot richer than you ever imagined. The 1980 United States 1-cent coin may seem like just another modern penny, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with us as we uncover why this particular penny could be worth big bucks. Let's rewind to the year 1980. The United States was in the midst of an interesting time. The country was recovering from a recession, and the economy was beginning to pick up. The 1-cent coin, still featuring the familiar Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and President Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, was in regular circulation. This design had been around since 1959 and would continue until 2008. By 1980, these pennies were being produced in large numbers, and like most coins from this era, they were used in day-to-day transactions. Now, fast forward to today, and you might be wondering, why would a 1980 penny be worth anything more than a cent? The answer lies in a few factors, mainly its condition and the rare minting errors that can make certain coins incredibly valuable. While most 1980 pennies you come across have been circulated and have taken a lot of wear and tear over the years, there are certain ones that stand out. The most valuable 1980 pennies are the ones in pristine, uncirculated condition. These coins are virtually flawless, showing no signs of wear, discoloration, or damage. Because uncirculated coins are so rare, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. If you happen to have a 1980 penny that's been well preserved, it could easily be worth more than just a cent. But here's the real kicker, the 1980 penny is also known for having a few minting errors that have made it a prized possession among coin collectors. These errors could include things like double dies, off-center strikes, or even issues with the coin's metal composition. A penny with a minting error is a unique find, and that uniqueness is what makes it so valuable. Minting errors are considered some of the most coveted types of coins because they're one of a kind, and collectors love adding them to their collections. So, how much could a 1980 penny be worth? If you have one in mint condition, or if you're lucky enough to have found one with a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The highest value a 1981 cent coin has ever sold for is an impressive $76,000. That's right, $76,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but it's true. A coin that once only held a value of 1 cent could now be worth tens of thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1980 penny, take a closer look. It could be worth far more than you ever thought possible. Top 10 and rare coin. We're diving into the world of the 1974 United States 1 cent coin, a coin that might look like just another penny, but could be hiding a value that'll blow your mind. Stick with me as we explore the fascinating history and hidden value of this penny, and you might just discover you have a treasure waiting to be uncovered. Let's rewind to 1974. The United States was in the middle of a transitional period. The economy was growing, and the nation was coming off a decade of cultural changes and political upheavals. In the world of coinage, the 1974 penny was still part of the iconic Lincoln Memorial series, which had been in circulation since 1959. The design features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, symbolizing the unity and strength of the nation. By 1974, the U.S. Mint was pumping out millions of these pennies, with the coins still widely used in everyday transactions. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, which means they've seen a lot of wear over the years. But here's where it gets interesting. While the majority of 1974 pennies are worth just their face value of 1 cent, the value of this penny could actually be much higher, if you know what to look for. The key to finding a valuable 1974 penny lies in its condition and any rare minting errors. If you've got a 1974 penny in near perfect, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than just 1 cent. Uncirculated pennies are rarer than you might think, especially when you consider how many were used in daily life. If you happen to have one of these pristine specimens, you could be holding on to a real gem. But that's not all. Minting errors can significantly boost a coin's value. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. Whether it's a double die, an off-center strike, or a misaligned design, minting errors create coins that are unique and highly sought after by collectors. A 1974 penny with a rare minting error could be worth a significant amount of money, as collectors love to add these one-of-a-kind coins to their collections. If you happen to stumble upon one of these error pennies, you could be sitting on something worth a small fortune. Now, let's talk numbers. You might be wondering just how much a 1974 penny could really be worth. The answer depends on the condition of the coin, as well as any potential minting errors it might have. But if you happen to have one of these rare gems, the value can be incredibly high. The most valuable 1974 1-cent coin ever sold reached a jaw-dropping price of $95,000. That's right, $95,000 for a single penny. It's hard to imagine that a coin with a face value of just 1 cent could be worth such an incredible sum, but that's the power of rarity and condition in the world of coin collecting. So, take a moment to check through your old coins or that jar of change. You might have a 1974 penny sitting there, waiting to make you a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you found this video interesting and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You never know, your next coin could be worth thousands of dollars. Happy collecting, and best of luck on your treasure hunt.